Whiskey and Wade going all the way. What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and Wade Show with me, your host, Tommy Mack.
And me, your better host, Hero McKenna.
And we're here in Lab Fitness as always. Make sure you join, get a wee membership.
Summer body. It's not too late to get a summer body. I know summer's only around the corner. It only takes 6 weeks to be a tank. Take it from me.
Take it from him.
Takes 2 days to be not a tank.
So labfitness.co.uk, and you know, we're in association with Our Kings Competitions, the best competitions page in the world. Make sure you get yourself a ticket. You can change your life. You can get a brand new super vehicle. You can get a house. There's all sorts there to be one, so make sure you hit them up. And this month's sponsor is Dream Mentor, right? The Dream Mentor program, Tom Smith's very own.
For all walks of life. It's not just for business people or sports people that we see on the internet. It's all walks of life. It can be hospitality. If you just want to be in a better mind frame, you want to get
personal development, you know what I mean? So make sure you get in contact with Emmons and give it a try. Have yourself level up.
We'll be starting it this week, so we'll be keeping us informed on how our mentorship goes.
Yeah. And also for this month, we have Bad Boys Mexican.
Bad Boys.
And for all
real bad man.
real bad man. This is unbelievable. Burritos, burrito bowls.
Starving to.
All that good stuff, right? So it's in Grantia. You can get deliveries, or you can go there and collect it. Make sure you hit them up there on Instagram and social media too. So unbelievable food. I wouldn't steer you wrong. You can trust me. So we're here today with another guest. This man is coming off back-to-back wins, and he's making waves. It's the one and only Caoimhín Agyarko.
What's happening? How are you? How are you after your fights?
Oh,
you look
good.
very unscathed.
I know.
I don't know. My face the next day was a mess.
Was
Obviously,
it?
I seen the pictures of you after, like the next day, it was very swollen.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? I don't even. I think it was because of the 2 fights in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That maybe my
You
body
look worse
hadn't.
in Toronto, see him.
I know. I don't think my body had fully healed from the first fight.
And then just topping up.
And I'm just somebody that like I mark up really.
Do you
really
mark up easy? Huh?
So easy. I don't know how, like, because I'm always moving my head. Like, I mark up so easy, but I think it's just like catching shots in your own gloves hitting
even
you.
Your own glove hitting you from
you.
You mark like fuck.
Because both my eyes were really bad.
Yeah.
I got cut for the first time
ever
as well.
Yeah.
It was a very, I thought, dangerous.
I know they take a last
like
notice.
It was like, what was it? A week
or late
notice?
10 days, yeah.
10 days. And your
notice.
man was meant to be pretty good.
Yeah, he's good. He's obviously been in with good opposition. He's always kind of just fell short on a couple like split decisions against Kane Conway and
big fights.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it was a risky fight for me to take.
You were the opponent, Dick.
Yeah, first time in my career as well, walking first and
you're walking first,
stuff like that. So it's kind of new to me, but I knew that obviously with my current situation in boxing that I had to take a risk.
So is that what the thought process behind it when they offered it? Was it like?
I had there was a couple offers on the table, couple big fights, and I just looked at it as like, there's no better time for me now because I was already in shape instead of going home for a couple of weeks and then having to start a new camp and stuff. I was like, it's only an extra 10 days, you know, in camp, so my weight wasn't too bad. So
were you going in that fight because you had only 10 days to prepare for it, or because you were in shape you didn't really give a fuck?
Not really. I'm always confident in myself regardless. Like I fought before, like I know it's probably not the same level, but I fought Robbie Chapman who had a winning record on 13 days notice. So I'm always confident in my ability as long as I'm fit. If I know I'm fit, I know I'll win. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm confident in my ability. So going into that fight, I was like, yeah, it's a risky fight. He's at a longer camp for a tougher opponent, and Ismail Davis he was meant to fight. So
is that who was meant to fight?
He was meant to fight, yeah. So I was thinking like that was a 10-round fight. I hadn't did a 10-round spar since last June. So just stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
that's a risk.
I know. And even for the fight that I had 2 weeks prior to it, I'd only did 2 8-round spars for that. So that was the only thing in the back of my mind. Is like, if he starts, like if it's close and he starts putting the pressure on, do you know what I mean? He's probably had load of 10-round sparring, but when you're in there, it all goes out of your mind, and you just focus on the.
So fight. That show was on a matchroom show, and there's pretty well known, like that you were with Matchroom and they were backing it.
Yeah.
Eddie was all over it in the beginning, and then it kind of
What did happen?
like
Because
a breakdown in the relationship.
he's had to.
Are
Yeah,
you back on good terms before you go into like what happened? Are you back in the good graces with Matchroom now, or
Yeah, and there was never any bad grace. Like we never fell out. There was never a big fallout or anything like that.
what
but
was the breakdown then? What happened?
honestly, you'd have to ask Eddie and Frank Smith because I don't
you
know.
had the
So
win of your career.
yeah, exactly. So it was confusion for me. Troy Williamson was the last fight of my contract, so I had like a 4 or 5 fight deal with Matchroom, and Troy was the last fight. But they wanted me to take Troy in
Dublin, wasn't it?
No, it was just after that. It was there was a show in September or something, but I came back to fight on the Dublin card against Grant Dennis, and I snapped my ligament in my thumb, and I was like got surgery in late February, and then the fight with Grant was May, so like I had like a 4-week camp and lost so much weight, so it wasn't a great performance. I got the win, and then after that I tore my AC joint in my shoulder and didn't tell nobody. And Matchroom wanted me to fight Troy, and I was like, "Give me one more fight, and I'll fight Troy." Because I didn't think.
Yeah,
Because I
coming
actually
off,
do
like-
remember it, like there was a bit of back and forth on Twitter.
Yeah, like Troy, obviously he was calm for the fight, and then because I asked for one more fight, Eddie had come out and said that I turned the fight down, which wasn't true. I was like, "Give me one fight late summer or like kind of September when you want me to fight Troy, and I'll fight Troy at the end of the year." I didn't get that fight, and I fought Troy anyway, and I was like, right. We were in negotiations for a new contract, whatever else. We put it on hold. I was like, I'm going to go and beat Troy and then
get better.
hopefully get a better deal and then beat Troy.
But do you think
that's
like
they,
beat Troy?
I'm so confused.
Because you won the fight, and then obviously Eddie Hearn, the way he was talking, like as if you knocked back the fight. And I remember Troy was, and I like Troy Williamson, but like you say, he's trying to get the fight. He was goading you a bit on Twitter. So they probably thought that you didn't want to fight because you thought you couldn't win, and then you won, and then let's say struck you, but then Eddie's like struck you anyway. We're not renewing the contract.
Exactly, we're not renewing the contract.
I felt that Eddie's statements before was if he doesn't take the Troy Williams fight, we're going to let him go. So he took it, and
he won.
Wins it, and then he gets
nothing. Yeah, I understand boxing. Like, I get that. Like. Maybe Eddie thought that because he's come out in an interview a couple of weeks ago with Callum from IFL and basically said that he rates me, thinks I'm a good fighter, but me and my team are a bit cautious with like certain opponents and stuff. And for me, I don't focus like my manager and coach get told the opponent. I'll say yes straight away, and if they say no,
that's fighters always say yes.
Yeah, if my manager or coach says no, I want to go down there for it, then I'll listen to them, and so. Maybe that was the reason, but there's no hard feelings around him. I'll say I get boxing, and for me, boxing's never personal. It's strictly business.
Yeah.
I never like even with the Troy Williamson situation, I never get roped into back and forth for like because it's really not personal to me.
So do you think after what happened, like Eddie didn't like that he didn't jump at the fight straight away?
Yeah, I thought at the time maybe he just lost belief in me and didn't think I was as good as he thought I was or I think I am, and and then I was trying to go like hard. I cannot be. I'm still unbeaten. I've just beat somebody everybody said I was going to get beat by. So and I beat him convincingly. So I don't know. Maybe just I left a bad taste in his mouth, but thankfully I'm back on Matchroom shows.
Did it dishearten you when that happened?
Yeah, because obviously for me I hadn't put a foot wrong in a professional boxing ring. Do you know what I mean? I was not at the time. I was number 10 in the world. Unbeaten. Do you know what I mean? I sell a lot of tickets. I would say I'm marketable. Do you know what I mean? I've got a story to go behind the boxing, and it was just like I just need somebody to believe in me to push me to the next level. And I fought with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, they were doing that, and then obviously after.
Are you signed with him now, or is it just like a rolling thing? Because
just a
a
rolling thing. Yeah.
What about you were originally with Queensbury? What happened there? Did you leave Emmons to go with Matchroom, or
so? When I was obviously starting my career with Queensbury, was with them for 3 years, and then just came to the end of my contract, and I actually wanted to stay with Queensbury. I wanted to stay with Emmons and keep progressing with Emmons. In boxing, you're never gonna get loyalty, but I always like to show some sort of loyalty. You know what I mean? And I wanted to stay with Emmons. My only literally was taking half the money the Matchroom were offering me. I said I'll stay with Queensbury. Just give me one fight back home. And they wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do it?
Why? I don't know.
You're supposed to build a fair at their home. Like.
Exactly. They wouldn't commit to it in contract,
Yeah.
and for me, Matchroom were going to do that.
Yeah.
So I just
jump ship.
Yeah, I think it was better money with Matchroom, better fights, and
bring
my main objective was to build back home in Belfast and try and become a star.
That is what you want to do.
Exactly.
Like, you want to be a star in your city.
Exactly. So then I moved to Matchroom.
So I think that happened with Catch as well. Being in Queensbury, he never really fought at home that much.
It seems like Queensbury haven't got much interest in putting shows on over here.
I think
and then
it's
they done one
expensive
with Conor Quinn. And remember he topped the bill and then he
Oh,
lost.
Yeah. See,
So then
they've
they
put
don't
one or
think they're
two
going to come back.
shows in the last couple of years here, but they haven't put the right cards on. They haven't put the right appealing fights for the fans to sell. Because I remember they put a show on. I think it was the Conor Quinn show, and they only sold 1,000 or 2,000 tickets in the Odyssey. That shouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So
they
don't have a good marketing thing. Like the Conor Quinn show wasn't well advertised.
No one knew about it. Yeah. But I don't know why they haven't brought Kakachi back. Do you know what I mean? He should have had a homecoming. Do you know what I mean? 100%. Obviously, the money's probably better elsewhere, but I'm sure there's a.
You want a big name in Belfast as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
but going back to you saying you have a story of boxing. Obviously, we all know the story, but you got what age were you when you got stabbed?
20. It was actually. I completely forgot about it. It was 8 years ago, 2 days ago or something.
Was it? So what happened that night?
I was just back from a tournament out in Paris and I'd won the gold medal. So I was out with an ex-girlfriend and I wasn't even drinking because I was meant to fight against America the week after.
You never used to drink anything?
Never ever. I always used to go out and not drink. And people were like, how are you out here? In Thompson's all night not drinking. But yeah, so I wasn't drinking. I was fighting against America the next week, and we had left early to go to McDonald's, get a bit of grub, and
McDonald's. See, for anyone that's not in Belfast, McDonald's is the place where you will get stabbed.
I know. There's always fights outside.
There's bouncers on the door, for fuck's sake.
Long story short, someone threw a McDonald's drink, and it hit me and went over my ex, and I've stepped down on it. Who threw that? Someone I knew. It was them over there, and obviously your pride and ego kicks in, do you know what I mean? And I've gone over and we're like, what are you playing at? It was wasn't us, someone seen you. It was like, why, what are you going to do? And I was like, man, I'll smash you about this place. And he's like, his mate was like, no, you won't. And was he laughing? And I was like, I'm telling you, I'll smash every single one of these about. And then I went to take my watch and jacket off, and then I was like, it's not even worth it. This is just going to end up being a madness. So I was like, you're donuts, and walked away. And then one of them's shouted, you nigger or something, and then one of them's walked towards me, and it's just all kicked off. And I can't remember. I remember getting hit with a bottle and being dropped. I've never been dropped in a boxing ring or out in the street ever in my 20 years of boxing. And I remember just getting hit with a bottle and dropping and thinking, if I stay down, I'm dead. So I don't know how I got up. I got up and I seen someone run, so I just chased him.
You chased him?
I got up and chased him. Because I was just thinking, there was literally 20, 30 of them. So when I was with my ex, I was like, if I run away, they're just going to chase me anyway. So it's fine.
Just blood pouring everywhere. You run that.
That's not even what. That's not what I was stabbed now. So I've caught one of them, and then you can't see it behind the CCTV. There's big pillars in town, and I was on top of one of them, and my ex has pulled me off. I'm like, right, that's enough. And as she's pulled me off, seeing my face is open. And obviously,
did you not even feel it?
I didn't feel nothing. So I think one of them just come up behind me with a Stanley blade and just did it. And I remember her being like, you're facing a bad way. And obviously being a fighter and knowing I've just been hit, I was like, oh, I've got a bruise or a cut or something. And then she was like, or I tried to run off because I seen them run, and she grabbed me and gave me a hug and was like, you're facing the bad way. And I pushed her off me, and there's blood all over, and I was like, the fuck's happened to you? And she's like, it's not my blood. My blood down, I'm covered in blood.
Was it everywhere?
Covered in blood. And I was just like, I'll be all right. And tried to run again to chase them. And the cop came out of nowhere. I know.
You're running to the danger flat.
Do you know what it is? See, when you're in that mentality of fight or flight, I'm already in it. Do you know what I mean? So
fuck it.
Cops have grabbed me, and then they're putting this fucking big plaster thing over my head, and I was like, mate, listen, it's not that bad. I'll go home and stick a plaster on it.
Fuck me.
The cop started laughing at me and was like, it's more than a plaster you're going to need. And that's when I realised it was bad. When I was sitting back of the ambulance and blood gashing everywhere. I was like, fuck.
Do you think you were going to die at one point now?
No, because obviously I didn't know how bad it was, but I wasn't in any pain. Like I didn't feel nothing. I could just see the blood, but it wasn't like
sore.
No, I wasn't sore nothing. And then when I started to freak out when I got to the hospital. Whenever they brought me through A&E, there was like 10 doctors around me, cutting my clothes off, putting stuff in my arm and stuff. And then one of the doctors went to take the like plastering that the cops had put on, and like I'm lying down, and as he's went to take it off, the stitch, blood just squirting, hit the ceiling, and I've just gone, this isn't good. So they were like, we can't give me any anaesthetic, we have to get this closed right now. And like as one like tried to pull it open, the other had to quickly stitch.
Yeah, must have been aching.
Yeah, well, it was it's the first time I've been stitched as well, so no anaesthetic, nothing. I was like,
you're not getting anaesthetic for the stitches, fuck's sake.
And then once I got it closed, like, and they were calling for like blood transfusions and stuff. I was like, this is fucking bad, but thankfully.
And the whole boxing world, like right across the world, was sending messages of like, what? Support, yeah.
Yeah,
it
like,
became a big story in the boxing world.
It was mad how quick it hit social media. Like, obviously, it was like early hours of Monday morning, and like I'd lost my phone and all, so like I didn't know what was happening. And like once I got my phone back,
that's like, anxiety. I have no phone.
I know. And my phone ended up in Dungannon. Someone like I must like when I've been fighting, I must come out of a pocket or something, and someone's lifted it and went back to Dungannon. My mate Sonny Upton flew over that morning when he heard about it, and he flew over, came to see me, and I went straight to Dungannon to get my phone.
What the guy say?
He's just like, listen, I found it out in town, lying on the floor, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Which anyone is just gonna lift the phone, do you know what I mean? So, 100%. But I got it back, but yeah, it hit the like boxing world.
Did you think that was your boxing career over?
Yeah, I did at the time, because I remember asking the doctor as soon as like I come out of surgery, I was like, right, when can I go back to like train? It's like, don't worry about that, like it's gonna be a while yet. And then I was sitting thinking like, oh, my whole career is over. Do you know what I mean? I've got a big scar on my face. Is it ever gonna open? Stuff like that. But obviously I had to go to like plastic surgeon and stuff after, and they were like, it's fine, it'll never open. So
seriously,
yeah, just because I got like micro surgery, so they had to stitch on the inside and then the outside. So they're like, it'll never ever open.
So does it like get whacked in them in face? You don't even.
Nah. At the start, the first year or two, it was sore. Like I don't spar with a head guard. Even now, like I don't know, but I don't spar with one because when I only went back to boxing after getting stabbed, the head guard used to irritate it, and I used to get a really bad headache. So now I just don't spar with one. Swifty doesn't.
I never used to spar with because
I love a head guard. When I take people's shots.
No, I was like, when I was going to fights, I was going, you feel like you're missing something because you don't have a hair guard in. So I just wanted a hair guard on. So I just wanted to make sparring as realistic as so that it didn't feel like you were missing
I
something.
I move my head more if I don't have a hair guard on as well. Like I'm more cautious of being hit rather than you have a hair guard on. You don't. Not that you don't want to take any shots, but you don't mind taking one or two to try and get back. So
that's my problem in like sparring. See, if you watch me sparring, I've got like gooey defense and catching everything, and then because I've got big gloves on, then I get to be small gloves, and I'm trying to catch.
I just get caught,
getting hit everything. So I wish there was like 16-inch gloves that were the size of 8-inch gloves. If that could ever be possible, it'd be great.
No, it wouldn't be possible.
I just get too comfortable with big gloves on.
I'm protecting you.
Fuck's sake. Sparring just not good.
That there was a high profile event in your young frigging career, in your young life too.
Did you go pro automatically after that?
No, played amateur for a year and then went pro.
Okay.
And then there was another thing in more controversy. There was with another boxer. He was trying to make a fight, and he was going back and forward on Twitter. And then he called you a black cunt, which is always the go-to with you guys.
Do you know what the thing is as well? So
every time
he called me.
He's tagging that. He only just called, say it, just get, go, say
it. You should just wait though.
Do you know what the
go ahead, make my day.
See, obviously, he called me that. He called me black cunt, and then I didn't even see it. It was another fighter, I'm not mentioning who actually sent me it. I didn't even see it on Twitter. Another fighter has been like, you seen this? And I was like, wait, what's he playing at? Like, but it was actually, he was like, he'd said something about me getting stabbed, or if they'd only stabbed you in the right place or something.
Yeah, that was the worst.
That annoyed me more. Like,
that is weird.
one, I'm not black, I'm mixed race, so whatever. But if you think I'm black and you think I'm a cunt, then that's fair. I won't even take that as racism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I don't think black cunts
Nah.
are bad,
because if I called,
even
like,
though it is bad.
yeah,
It is bad, but it's just, I think growing up in Belfast or growing up in Ireland, you're used to it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not the worst
to be called.
thing.
I mean,
Like,
I never, like, that never bothered me. It's not something I haven't heard before, but then the comments about being stabbed was like, whatever.
and no one cared about it. Everyone
Nah.
just honed in on the
Yeah,
black cunt.
exactly.
He actually wanted to meet dead. But that there was just got so big again. The boxing world all rallied behind it.
Yeah.
You're big. Everyone loves you. You can't the boxing world. But they all got behind
Except
it.
Eddie Hearn.
No, except Eddie. They were calling for him to have his license took off him, and he shouldn't be allowed to box again. And everyone was getting behind it.
See, to be honest, that would have been a huge fight.
Would have been a massive fight, yeah.
That would be huge.
It would have been. And were you interested in that fight until that happened? Like, was it potentially going to happen?
Yeah, like we'd spoke about trying to make it happen before whenever I was with Frank Warren, and just career-wise, he went into some tournament at the time, that Ultimate Boxer,
and he won it, yeah.
And he won it, and he was doing that, and I was on my own path, and then obviously that happened on Twitter, and I put a statement out after him. I was like, I actually don't want nobody to give him any stick. He's clearly going through something right now and struggling mentally, and I get it. Like, if you're coming off Olympics, come off games, and you turn pro, and there's no one really backing you. Like, he wasn't with a promoter or anything.
It is hard, isn't it, going from amateur system to pro?
And like, obviously, he clearly had stuff going on in his personal life. So I was like, I don't want anyone to slate him because he's struggling. He's clearly struggling mentally. But obviously in my head, I was like, he's never getting an opportunity to fight me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to give him the opportunity. I'm one that has a promoter and a backing and stuff like that. And he's obviously disrespecting me massively in his comments. So I was like, unless I have to fight him, I'm never really going to give him the opportunity. So.
And then a couple of years after it, the fight didn't happen in the ring. It ended up in the cobbles. And then that became another big thing.
Was that not the same night? I thought that was that day.
No, this happened on Twitter, and then it's probably about
I remember being
later.
camped during Twitter, just watching it with popcorn.
It was in 2021. He put the comments out on Twitter, and then in 2022, it was literally like a year later that it had happened. Fuck's sake.
And so obviously, you were in it. From your point of view, the rumors were going around, and you saw a couple of wee clips here and there. What actually happened on that day?
I know it. You know what? I actually seen it. Someone was showing me the other day, and it was someone that wrote on Twitter, and the caption was, "Boxer Stephen Donnelly been attacked by Paddy Barnes and Caoimhín Agyarko." I was like, that's like far from what happened. What happened is, it was one of my mates had like graduated or something, so we would literally, on that night, an hour before, agreed to go out to points for a pint, only having one or two and going home, and literally just sat down with my pint and seen Stephen, and he hadn't seen me, so I was like, oh, fuck's sake, like, it's gonna end up. My mate was doing the door, and I called him over and was like, listen, he knows the crack, like, he knows.
Back me up, please.
Yeah.
I was like, get stabbed.
I know, fuck's sake. I was like, he came over and he was like, how do I know him? And I was like, it's Stephen Donnelly, and he was like, right, okay, I'll put a boundary just to make sure that nothing happens. Like, sweet. And then I've got up to, someone's ringing me, and there's no signal in the points. I've got up to walk outside to answer it. And as I've walked, I've actually tried. He's standing right in front of me, but I can't go anywhere else other than past him. So his back's to me, and I've tried to like slip out past him so he can't see me. And I just felt this arm on my shoulder, like, but as in like a hug. Fuck's sake, like, thinking, here we go. And he went, oh, what's happening, Keegan? I was like, get your fucking hand off me. Like, obviously, like, he's racially abused me. And he just goes, do you want to go, Leah? Do you want to go? I was like, I'll go if you want. And he's like, do you want to go? I was like, yeah. And then he goes, do you want to go, you black cunt? I was like, you stupid bastard, like. And I was like, yeah, let's go then. And then I went to walk out. It's so stupid for me because I'd never, like, I wasn't even drunk or anything like that. I should have been like, all right, go ahead.
Have you started drinking at this time in your life?
I'd started drinking it, yeah. But I was like, I should have been like, all right, go, you walk out first. Went to walk first, went bang, side banged me. I just felt the left hook. I was like, you cheeky bastard, and turned round and chinned him, and then we're on the floor like scrapping and whatever else. And I've just heard glasses and all smash, and I was like, fuck, I may get up here because I'm not getting stopped again. And I've got up and been pulled away from it. And that's when he's got up and threw a glass at Paddy Barnes. I think he threw a glass at Paddy Barnes. And what do you call it? Obviously, my mate who's doing doors like, right, relax, calm down. And someone was like trying to calm me down, like, no, I'm going out to fight him. Like, he's just fucking dirty Joe me. Like, I'm not letting that slide. And what do you call it? They're like, no, you're not going outside. We've put him out and I'll just leave it at that. And I was like, I'm going to end up fighting one of yous. Like, I'm not drunk or anything. Like, leave me alone. Like, because I'm going outside regardless whether I'm going to go home or going out to fight. I'm leaving here now. And I've walked outside and he's standing right there. And I just walked outside and he's run at me to throw a punch and I've just chinned him. And that's when the video on thing where we're like on the ground, I've just chinned him, he fell into me and he's went for double leg takedowns. Looks like he tried to get me in a triangle choke. But yeah, and then obviously it's just fucking him and Paddy's ended up having their spat and whatever else. But I didn't attack Stephen Donnelly. It was what it is. It's over and done with now. So if Stephen had not watching this, I've nothing against you. Just telling the story. But yeah, so that was another madness in the boxing world.
And were you with Paddy Barnes on that night?
Nah. It was mad because I always used to think Paddy didn't like me. Because me and Paddy's had like one or two back and forth on social media and never had an issue with him, don't know. But at the time, I've seen him in there and it was Paddy's birthday. And I've seen him and what's happening, Paddy? But thinking, does he even like me? Do you know what I mean? And then, he's like, out for my birthday, whatever else. And I've said, happy birthday, whatever else. And I went, fucking Hingson, do you see Hingin here? He's like, aye. And that was it. So I wasn't even with him. And then after, it was like, Paddy, not back me, but near enough back me. I was like, fuck me, man.
What the fuck's going on here?
Fuck, he does like
me. So now you've had them two back-to-back wins. What's the plans on going forward? If you
big fight in September. There's talks of Ismail Davis. Don't think it's confirmed just yet.
That's a big fight.
Yeah, good fight. Obviously, he's coming off a couple losses, but he stepped up and that.
They're what weight are you gonna box at, or will that fight be at? Is it middle or late middle?
Late middle, yeah. He's a natural late middle. I think he went up to middle to fight Josh Kelly on late notice, and then
he actually done well on that.
Did well, on 6 days notice. And then so
see, his losses actually aren't bad losses.
No,
they're tough.
Been beat by good opponents. Obviously, there's some Ukrainian that beat him who's literally like fought for world title. So
that'd be a great fight.
It's a good fight.
How likely would that be? How likely is that?
I think it's near enough done. Just wait and
10 or 12 rounds.
Be 10 probably.
10. Yeah. Have you done a 12 rounder?
Nah, I never done 10. But I started I started off on 6s. I've never did a 4, so I did like 5, 6.
You're due one. Get me 4.
I know, get a 4 rounder. No.
See, 4 rounders, I think they're big risk.
Because
if you say fall over, you slip and you get a count. That's a draw. It's the best you get to draw.
You've only 4 rounds to win it. I hate even 6. Like that's why I went.
Once you get up to the distance, you don't want to do.
Nah, you don't want to go back.
You never want to 6. Even 6s are too short.
Yeah, I did 5, 6 in my first year, and then straight into I did 1, 8 and straight into 10s.
10s are best.
I know 10.
I love 10.
I think I've done like the majority of my fights have been 10 rounders.
At the minute, I seen yesterday, you're 4th in the WBA. How much or how many more fights, or say you beat Ismail in this one, if the fight happens, do you think the world title will be next?
I don't think it'll be next. Like,
because you're right there. Like,
you're so close.
Like, preferably, I wouldn't want this fight with Ismail because if that's who's next, that's who I'm fighting. I don't care. Like, I'll go out and I'll beat Ismail and then I'll push on. But like, it's a high risk, low reward for me. Like, no disrespect to Ismail, I think he's a good fighter, but he doesn't bring nothing to the table. He's not world ranked. He's not ranked in the EBU. He has no titles and he's coming off 2 losses. So like, there's nothing for me to gain. It's not like this fight's gonna get me closer to the world title fight. I'll be still in number 4 position. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I always feel in boxing, the one fight you don't want is always the fight you get.
Yeah.
The only fight I was like, that doesn't happen from my career. No, you're fighting him, and then I just end up fighting him.
But it's just the path that I'm on. So if I have to get through Ismail Davis to get to a world title, then so be it. I think have this fight and then try and push for a world title eliminator.
Who's the champion at your weight?
Terence Crawford, fuck's sake.
Handy one.
I don't know.
He's
Hopefully
getting
he
old. He's getting
vacates
old.
when he fights Canelo, yeah. I slip in there for a wee vacant belt.
That used to be your when you came on the pro scene. That was what everyone was calling you.
The Irish Canelo.
The Irish Canelo. Was that pressure? Do you feel pressure?
No, I obviously took it as a compliment. Nah, none at all, no.
Because there was a lot of, there still is a lot of fucking momentum behind it. A lot of people expecting you to do big things. So.
See, like expectations and pressure, like from other people, I don't feel it. I really don't. Like, because the expectation and pressure that I put on my own shoulders surpasses anyone's expectations.
Do you put a lot of?
Yeah, I believe I should be world champion. I believe, like, I know how good I am, know how good I like, how hard I work, and what I've sacrificed to be where I am now. Do you know what I mean? It's not been a smooth road. There's been ups and downs. So the expectations for me to perform from myself are massive. So I don't, like, whether it's a promoter or my team or any, like, my team is the only people that I would, like, let put pressure on me, because they see me every day and they expect a lot of me. But, like, obviously you want to go out and look good and give the fans, like, they pay their hard-earned money to come and watch you and support you, so you want to give them a good thing, have a good show or a good fight. But I don't ever focus on their expectations, because I think once you start focusing on outside noise and let that creep in, it can distract you a bit, and that just doesn't work for me.
See, back in the day, there used to be talk of it. I don't know if he's the same weight now, but Arn McKenna, he's the same weight.
No, he's a weight above. But
is he?
I got offered it for the Crocker Donovan first fight, and I said yeah at 160. So I was moving up, and they said, "Oh, can he do 164?"
That's a huge fight.
Yeah, he was like, "Can he do 164?" I was like, "He's already moving up £6 to come up the middleweight limit." I'm not fine at 164, and McKenna said he couldn't make 160.
Okay.
Don't know why, because he just made it for beef feet, you know what I mean? Obviously, he had a lot longer to make it, so which means to me that he's probably going to outgrow 160 and move up to 168
Who
soon.
was your biggest rival in the amateurs? Randy Evans pro
Steve Donnelly.
Well,
he beat me in the qualifiers for the Commonwealth.
Ulcers, was it?
Yeah, and he beat me on a split. I headbutted him.
Did you?
Got 2 points taken off. Anyway, he headbutted me. He hit me after the break.
In my head.
He hit me after the break, and it was the second time he did it. So I like squared up to him and pushed him away with my head and got 2 points taken off me.
So who would be the person you're gunning for now in the pros? Have you got like a rival?
Everyone calls me Bourne, but I never look at the weight or be like, I want him or him next. It's whoever's literally. I just focus on fighting and training. Like, my managers will say to me, "We've got 4 opponents, or do you want him next?" And say whatever you think. I really don't care. But say a Bas Baru is probably the one I'm chasing.
Oh, really?
Like, he's got the European title. Yeah, I've sparred with him loads of times.
Have you?
Yeah, I've sparred.
How does spars go?
Good. I'd be confident, but I also know sparring. Like, it's, do you know what I mean? They were good. They were good spars. They were competitive spars. And he's very good. He's a very, very good fighter, and like, that's what I mean. Like, people say, "Oh, I don't want to take
the hard
fights." I literally want the best in Europe. He's number 1 with the WBA.
Yeah, he's very good.
So, like, if that's who and I called him out of, like, not disrespectfully or anything, but I said that's who I want next. He's got the European title, and that's what I want. So it could be Joe Bloggs who's got the European title. I'll fight Demons for it.
EBU titles are lethal.
Yeah. Fucking
but
Tommy over here, the first black
Irish.
Irish.
We usually have it here, but
The first black Irish.
I forgot to bring it.
Fuck's sake, but
He's scared I was gonna steal it.
I say, you're not there, like, chase me up the street. I'm saying, leave me alone.
But see, moving over to Liverpool, that's where you are, Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Do you find it beneficial? Like you need to be away?
Yeah, I couldn't train back home.
Yeah,
like, I've never been somebody that gets distracted or like goes out and parties or I really live a quiet lifestyle. But I just think being back home where there's not.
Kevin, you've just told 2 stories of you rumbling outside in the town.
That was my younger years. I just think because obviously I was training Liverpool with a different team, and I was.
Is that where you were before you moved? Because you were with Swifty.
Yeah, I was with Joe McNally and Declan O'Rourke. And then obviously I moved last October, but I was thinking of coming back home to train.
Who would you train with if you?
Don't know. That's the thing. Like, Ram Burnett, I think in Belfast probably the only one. You got D Walsh, there's a couple others, but I think I would have wanted to be away from Belfast, so I would have probably asked Andy Lee and travelled down south. Obviously,
I always think I need to be away to train. Like even if you're not drinking and you're not eating bad, you're still in your mentality.
Yeah. See, like Caoimhín Agyarko on camp and Caoimhín Agyarko back home, they're two different people. Like I'm so locked off. Even like sometimes my mates want to come over and see me, and I'm like, nah, just my missus is loud over. I've got no say. But like I just like being left alone when I'm in camp. But yeah, I was gonna come back home and train, but I just thought, like I've always said from the start, whenever I turn pros, that if I want to achieve something, I've got to give myself the best.
I think any pros from here, you have to get out of here, go away. Even like
I think anywhere in any city, have to go away.
In that part of England, there's plenty of sparring, and all that stuff.
I was in London for the first 4 years of my career. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, in London. The iBoxing, Al Smith and Eddie Hearn.
Oh yeah.
That's where I started, and then obviously moved up to Liverpool.
Do you enjoy being in Liverpool?
I love it. Yeah, it's just like Belfast. It's a bigger Belfast.
Just stay in a. Where do you stay? Do you stay in a hotel?
Somewhere out. It's fucking costly,
expensive,
like. But yeah, no, I just like a little apartment right out over there.
So people don't see the cost like that because, as in Germany, it's grand a month for my fucking apartment room. Just.
Exactly, and like I said to you before we started rolling here, like my fight I took 3 weeks, nobody knows, or 4 weeks, or whenever it was. That first one, like I fought for free. So I mean, after being out of the ring for like, I was in act. I had one fight in 18 months, and then fought there and had to put my opponent got paid thousands more than me. I fought for free. Nobody's seen the
people don't realize about the program.
Spending like I was away for 12 weeks. We did a camp out in Portugal as well.
Camps are expensive.
Camps, your nutritionist, strength coach, fight kit. Do you know what I mean? So and I had no sponsors at the moment. So everything's just coming out of my pocket.
No sponsors there.
No. Because obviously I get it. Like boxing went quiet for me for the last 18 months, and sponsors only going to sponsor if they're getting something back out of it. So. Now I'm back on the big shows, get sponsored. But
for fuck's sake.
So like I literally fought like I was thousands down from that last camp, and thankfully I got a big fight.
Took a big risk.
Yeah, got a big
risk.
I
think it was a risk, but it fucking massively paid off because you did get the win.
Yeah,
and people are talking about you, big him again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just
setting up big.
I knew that like when I got offered, I was like, this is my opportunity. One, if there was any doubters in Matchroom, to prove them wrong, and two, to prove everyone else wrong that thinks that I don't want to take fights, whether it's last minute or
I don't think
big tough fights. You know what I mean?
Much boxers would take a fight.
I know,
10 days notice.
But like I said, I was in good shape and stuff, and I needed. Listen, you've got to roll the dice sometimes. You know what I mean? There's 100%. No risk, no reward. So I was just my mentality, like right, okay, like just go and prove everybody wrong, and thankfully it paid off.
All right, Dick. When you first started boxing. Remember, you spent a week in our club.
Remember? That's right. Remember that? You're a plunker man.
You're a plunker man.
Do you know what? I always started like the first club I went to was Holy Trinity, and then I was up in Plunker for a week. And remember St John's?
Yeah.
Because I lived in St James's, it was hard for us to get the Holy Trinity. And St John's was up the street, so I remember like I used to run about with all the lads like Toady and stuff. And
St John's isn't there, was it?
Nah.
So would you say you're a St James's man or a turf man or a Glen Roder or
I don't know. I've lived everywhere. I would say
where are you rapping?
I'd say Turf Laws because my whole family's from Turf, and I like even when I lived in London, like I always come over every summer and we'd spend months in Turf. And then when I moved here,
what age did you move here again?
7, 8, yeah.
So
yeah,
I would say Turf Laws.
I remember you all like even your brother on, he's had like a wee English London
accent,
voice,
and
then just
talk like a smack.
And from that week in Plunkett, did you know that you wanted to be a professional boxer?
No, do you know what? I didn't know I wanted to take boxing serious until I was 13, 14. So like I boxed when I was 7. But I always, whenever I got the age of fighting, which is about 11, 12, I always went to football matches instead of going to the weigh-ins.
Really? Did you?
I never wanted to fight. And then the first year of like my brother fighting and all my mates fighting, I was like, and going to watch and seeing the buzz and stuff, I wanted to have a part of that. So I wanted that feeling, and
you ended up good.
Yeah, I was shit at the start. I was a wee fat kid, just loved the scrap. I lost like my first fight, won my second, lost my third. Like lost a couple of my first 10 fights, and then it was just I remember I can't remember, it might have been it was the Commonwealth Games year you went, I remember
2010.
Holy Trinity ones were all training for the seniors and stuff, and Mickey never used to let the kids train in the summer whenever the seniors were training, and I had pleaded with him. I was only like 12, 13. I was like, please, can I just train with him? And he let me, and I remember I used to take beatings off them all. Sean McCall, Mark O'Hara, Barry O'Neill, they always punched me about, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I like sparring with D. Walsh, Conrad Cummins, and all. I learned so much from a young age. Like, I learned so much, and the next tournament, I ended up winning the 9 counties, the Ulster 9 counties, Antrims, lost in the All-Irelands, won the cadets, and then went to World and Europeans all in that year with just making that one sacrifice.
And then was that it then?
I just took off on. Like, I went to the World and Europeans still being a novice. I was still a novice, I mean.
5 fights in his card, 4 fights. That's crazy.
And then when
how did you do in that competition?
In the Europeans, I won my first fight and then got beat by the world number 3, and he went on to win silver in the Europeans. And then in the Worlds, I won my first fight and got beat by the world champion. He went on to win the Worlds again.
Who was it?
Some guy from Uzbekistan.
Is he still bird? No.
Nah, I was checking him up. He's not.
He was buzzing the day. He's not there no more.
And he only beat me by 2 points and like hammered everyone else in the tournament. So it was close. Obviously, different face. Like.
After that, then was that you were like, I want to dedicate my life into the sport.
After that, I remember just thinking like, I'm half decent at this. If I put the sacrifice in and the hard work, that I can achieve something. Like in my first year, going from a novice to winning the national title to
two majors,
boxing for my country all across the world. I was like, if I put the head down here, I can achieve something, and I've just sacrificed.
So do you not really see in school? What school were you?
CBS.
You just didn't take it serious in school.
And I was smart enough, like I was all right, like but I just
you were going to be
boxing was always my number one priority. Like I'd miss so much time in school because of being away training camps or having to go to Dublin or like fights and stuff. Like with school, it was never a priority for me.
Have you ever had a real job? Like have you? What have you?
My first job, I think it was
Hawkins flower
so you did when I was 12 years old. Fucking 8 hours work gives you a $5 and a fucking Freddo and tennis balls.
Sammy's kid, well done.
My first proper job, I worked behind a bar in Filthy's.
Did you?
Yeah, glass collecting, and then
Filthy's used to be the spot.
I know, back in the day.
I don't think it's good now, is it? No, goes to.
And then I was a plumber for a couple of years.
Were you a plumber?
Yeah, a plumber.
Still know how to plumb shit?
Yeah.
To plumb
shit. Bits and pieces, like. And then I worked I did the door, and then I
did
Rock Bar and
Rock Bar. Hard night work.
Rock Fowls and Caffrey's, 3 of the hardest bars on the road.
Did you have much trouble, or
nah,
it's probably because you're from the area?
No one really slobbered. You always get 1 or 2 people, but no real issues. I remember there was a madness with like all the Davis ones and St James's ones one night in Caffrey's, and that was the last time I did doors. Like 50 people fighting. I was like,
fuck off.
Like the doormen were getting dragged into, and I was like, I'm never going back.
Take a wee badge off. Take
it back. It's a pain.
I think you need a few real jobs just to motivate you in boxing.
You know the job that I worked for the Redcoats City Sightseeing.
So you did, that's right.
And I like standing there freezing your balls off every day for 8 hours for.
That would be one of my worst jobs. Going to randomers trying to get them on the bus.
Like I would hate that. I hated standing. Like I hate the coldness. Like I'm one of them people. I'd rather be too warm than too cold. Like,
you guys.
I'm standing like hopped up, fucking me like I'm selling fucking.
It's like 78 degrees.
So, that was my last job, and then
fuck that.
And when did you turn pro? What did you do?
He was 21, 2018.
Did you instantly sign with Queensbury?
Yeah.
Instantly?
Yeah. I was close to signing with MTK at the time.
Yeah, I remember you coming up to me in Thomas when they go here, MTK might be signing me. I was like, fucking right. And then you didn't.
I was close to
signing.
Don't say anything. He's fucking shitty.
Don't the cable.
Yeah, I was gonna sign with Emmons, and then Queensbury come in and signed with them. So got off to a good start.
I think you need that kind of start. If
you have a backing of a promoter at the start of your career, it makes things a lot easier.
So you were in big shows straight away.
Yeah,
you've never had the small hole dirt
shows.
Well,
the fight 4 weeks ago.
Kinda
Yeah,
small.
yeah. The
Well,
fight
I don't call your call small.
Nah, the fight
It's-
4 weeks ago,
no,
or
it's
4 or 5,
iconic. Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks ago, that was my first time fighting on like a small hall show, like where there's it's not a promotion.
Do you think it's better atmosphere and stuff? But I feel like everything's just on.
It is. It's good atmosphere with a pay shade. So.
But I like all my some of my favorite fights have been like in the Ulster Hall or something. They just on top of like $40 or something like that. And I don't know. It just feels
the atmosphere
sometimes,
and like. It's like the Ulster Hall is York Hall. It's just like a small venue. It's just like real old school or something.
And everyone's there that are proper diehard fans.
Exactly.
Once you get to the SSE, say you're on fourth last, it's half full.
Yeah.
Kind of. And a lot of them are just like the women are just there for the drink.
Yeah.
They're not there.
A lot of people
most of them
are always there for the main event as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And it's only in Ireland and the UK where people are like it. Because if you watch the American shows, people are there from the undercard watching the whole
watching
thing.
all the fights.
But like I see stadium fights, like proper stadium fights, I ain't getting losers a lot of because of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Oh yeah, the stadium fights.
You can't hear the punches. You can barely see it because you're so far away. And then it's just I was at fights before and I was like third before the main event, and I looked around and I was like, there's about 30,000-40,000 people here, but it felt
it looks
semi-empty.
empty.
And I was like, it's fucking packed, but
I even going to them, like I
prefer watching.
Yeah, watch on TV. I
every
hate going
time.
to the fights. My manager keeps on saying, "You need to go to more fights just to get yourself out there more and do more interviews and stuff." I'm like, I couldn't.
There's no point.
Like,
You can't
You can't. Most people are talking to you during it.
Exactly.
You're not watching fight.
You can see more, like, and if there's an interesting fight you want to watch, you can see it.
I want to see the punch. I want to hear the punches.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit of commentary and whatever. I think watching fights is far better, to be honest.
Definitely. Tell me this, Keegan. Do you ever get people talking to you thinking that you're me? Has that happened to you?
They always think like I'm your little brother or something.
Do you know?
Someone I'd say,
It's just happened to me on a couple of occasions, like, and I got my neck broke as well. You didn't get your neck broke. You get stabbed, right? But I got my neck broke, and I was in the papers and all. But it was a load of years ago. But I went to the youth club to give like a talk, and one of the kids went, "This is boxer Tommy McCarthy's performer profile was raised up with it." And she went, "Are you happy, lad, that happened to his neck?" And I said, "Yeah, it's me." I thought they were talking about the broken neck. And then I realised they thought it was friggin' Caoimhín. And then me and Paddy Barnes were out one night, and this couple come up of a woman and her husband. She's like, "Oh, I love a boxing and all. Can we get a photo?" So me, Paddy, and this fella and girl got a photo and talking to me about boxing and for ages. And I was like, "Fuck. Happy days. I'm still relevant in the game." And the next day on Facebook, great to meet Paddy Barnes and Caoimhín Agyarko. Everyone's slagging the life. What the hell? Racist.
I've got a couple times. Someone actually said to me a couple of weeks ago, called me Tommy. Hey, it was in Allytown or somewhere. I was like, I'm not Tommy.
Listen, you said it's racial, but I get you. I get called you. So there's Tommy. I hit Tyrone.
You're going to start getting called Tyrone. Everyone's calling me now. Even after my last fit, and I got out and a woman sitting in the front was like, "Well done, Tyrone. Hard luck, love." I was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
It says
right across the friggin' waist. Unreal. But another thing came back when you were a young man and now you're growing your hair again. My wife used to do your hair, right? And she says to me, "We've got Keegan on the podcast today." She says, "Tell me I want my DVD back."
DVDs, give me a DVD.
We landed a DVD there for the funeral. That's Amy's favorite. That's Amy's favorite movie.
Tommy's fucking cracking up. He owes me a DVD.
I don't even have a DVD.
I was straight to CX.
Man, this is crack. I threw all the DVDs in the bin because there's no use.
No one watches DVDs anymore.
Hey, we're going to watch them on the fucking Hoover. We don't even have a DVD player. I mean, that's exactly. ask me about my TV.
Fucking
serious?
15 years later. She don't
TV.
know any
Got it on the
better.
fucking TV. Anyway.
Well, Tommy, I don't know why you're getting on him. You
I
have
know.
my whole collection is Sopranos
I know.
and Curb
I know.
Rizzo.
They're all in the bin there. Sorry. Nah, the Sopranos isn't. Neither's Curb, but
Sure, buddy.
you can have a saying and. But Kevin, so you're so close to the world title, and you've said from you turn pro you want to be Ireland's first black world
Tommy's
champion.
trying to compete with you, but I think that's out the window
Yeah,
now.
no, God, it wasn't in the plan. That's he signed the contract to fight for world
I
title
know,
three fucking times,
3 times.
and once it. After third time, says, you know what, it's just not meant to be.
Yeah.
Back on the podcast.
Obviously, when you were still boxing, like I always used to get asked in interviews, like, "Oh, you've got a bit of rival with Tommy McCarthy," and like as if like the interviewers always try and like create some narrative or like try and stir, like as if we're the same weight or something.
Willie Lynch.
I always used to be like if Tommy achieves it before me, I'll be congratulating him and supporting him. Like I hope he does it, but
really,
if not,
in your head,
fuck him.
I was just like, I'll be another.
Well, I know we're talking professional boxing, but Adam O'Lanion beat us did a punch by winning a world gold medal.
Amateurs, was it?
Amateurs, but don't count.
Don't count. It's not pro. Do you know what I always get as well? People going like, my mates find me up all the time. Why do you call yourself Black Thunder? I say, because Mixed Race Thunder don't have a ring that does it. Fuck's sake, I'm probably going to be like, Mixed Race Thunder, fuck's sake.
You have to black.
Black
Thunder.
I wanted Tommy. I thought the best, if you're from Belfast and you're big, Black Mountain is the best.
Black Mountain would have been lethal.
It'd have been unbelievable. I don't know why.
I'm not big enough for
We
that.
made him
Fuck's
have
sake.
unofficial friggin' nicknames. As Black Mountain, he's Kid Scorpion.
Kids score,
Which everyone
His
loves.
grand, black,
Yeah.
black,
His
blasphemy.
grandma's a black fella.
Stop twisting my words. Blasphemy.
Now, do you know what? You should have been Black Thunder and he could have been White Lightning.
Oh, that'd be good.
Miss a trick
That'd
there.
be
Fuck's sake.
Right, welcome to the Black Thunder White Lightning podcast. But yeah, Kevin, you're very close anyway. What's your management saying? Are you looking at the next 18 months, hopefully, to be fighting for it? Or?
Yeah, but my manager actually flew over there on Thursday for catch up. So get past this next one in September, big fight. So my eyes are focused on that. But hopefully towards the end of the year, maybe one more fight, and then push on the World Title Eliminators 2026.
Is late middle going to be your weight for next while, do you think?
Yeah.
Do you make it handy enough? Or?
Yeah, make it handy enough. I always
You're always
fought,
in shape, like.
I always thought when I turned pro, like I struggled to make 69 as an amateur. Obviously, every day or next day weighing and stuff like that. But I always said I'm never going to kill myself to make weight as a pro. Like I'll just do it properly, and if I can't make the weight, just don't kill yourself. And that's why to start my first like 12 fights or 11 fights were all middleweight. But then I got a nutritionist, and
I knew you were middleweight.
I've had 17 fights. I've only had 3 at light middle. So
did you bring a nutrition on board to get?
Yeah.
I didn't get to see much of a nutrition on board.
Like I make
makes it far easier.
The first time I made light middle, I made it easier than I ever made middleweight. Which is madness.
Yeah,
you just do it right.
Because like when I was in America, I fought light middle, I fought welterweight, and then once it got to the season, got a fucking hang, and I'm down to fucking light welter.
So I think I'll stay at. I always said that I want to win a world title at light middle, and then I have no real dreams or aspirations to be a 2-weight world champion. But
I
if
just want to win the title.
Yeah, if it makes sense.
Are you in any other, or is it just the WBA?
I think it's just the WBA. Yeah,
so that's the one that you're focusing on.
Yeah, and I said like whatever recognized belt I win at the start, that's the route that I want to go down. So my favorite belt's the WBC. Like, but
is it?
Hi.
I think the WBA one's good.
Yeah, the WBA is good, but I think the WBC stands
you're part of the Mayweather generation. We all are. We're all Mayweather babies. So it's all WBC.
Green and gold. It just looks good, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? So
it's the one everyone recognizes as the GOAT.
WBA is the route I'll probably go down for world title.
The real one you want is the Ring magazine.
Yeah, I know, the Ring magazine.
Get a wee Saudi fight, that's what you mean.
Give me them all, fuck's sake.
But thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Kevin, you're a legend.
Oh yeah, do you know I used to hate Throne McKenna because
Jesus, there's a ramen
for no reason. Well, for the reason was Mark O'Hara was my idol growing up.
Was he?
Mark, well, I wanted to be Mark O'Hara growing up. But see,
Jesus.
like just
No
see, like,
disrespect on Mark. Well, like,
Mark's a lovely guy.
See the way like he trained and like
Yeah.
Oh,
the way he
consummate
fought, like he
professional.
was constant
Even though he
professional.
was
That's
an
who I
amateur,
looked
like,
up
but
to. And then I remember you always had beef,
Beef,
and
seriously.
I didn't even know him. I was like, "Fuck, I can't."
The whole
I like it. I don't worry.
Holy Trinity hated me.
I know.
Yeah.
So I had a Meg.
Mark was in my
all,
class in school.
all our mates hated Mark.
I hated Mark,
and then all you just hated me. So it was a good beef we
I
had.
know.
I
You
think
never really
Christmas-
get like see back then, like with Holy Trinity, you had Oliver Plunk, you had Holy Family, Mac Laddard. Like there was a bit of beef between because there was so many good fighters that all fought each other in Antrim or Ulster. Do you know what I mean? You don't really have that nowadays.
Me and Mark had a scrap in the street, folks. In Paris. In Paris, I just been out dick. He came up, he said, he's being friendly, super friendly to me the whole trip. And it was annoying me that we were getting on this. He came up to me one day, he's like, no one's going to believe when I get home, send me and Throne's mates now. I was like,
We're not,
And that's a fucking mate.
So I had a paint in my hand. I said, fuck, there's a clear paint over him.
No way.
I go, what the fuck are you doing now? That free paint we're not mates. I feel bad on that.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was mate. Do you know what? He's a lovely guy.
No, Mark is.
Really
Mark,
nice guy.
He was in my class in school, and I don't know, something happened where me and him just didn't like each other
Yeah,
forever.
Me.
And then, like, I went for so many years not talking to him. We went to Commonwealth Games. I didn't say one word to him. The whole camp, the whole time in India.
Do you ever walk?
We
do
were
you
in
ever
a
look back
lift.
and be like, that was
It was a waste of
pointless?
time.
Yeah.
I remember we were in a
Yeah,
lift and it
definitely.
was just me and him and just sailing.
Just silent. Oh,
100 flights on each other. Luckily, it was only just up
The
one
next
floor.
floor.
But like, and then it was not until friggin' the recent
Years
years,
later,
and I had seen him. I was like, "Well, it's him, no Mark." And then I would talk.
He's a great
And he's
guy.
a coach
Turns out
now.
he's a sound guy.
remember I used to live on Suffolk Road.
Uh,
I don't know where we were, but me and Owen were out with you two somewhere. And I remember we went back to yours.
to
and
my
Mark-
house.
yeah,
And
back
I was
in
actually
Canada.
thinking about it the day. We were probably about 20 at the time.
yeah.
And then there must have been fights or something. And you came back, and then you started going, "Look at Jesus. You're so
Jeans.
old school wearing jeans." And
I
I was like,
remember it.
Jesus,
Slag
we're old heads now.
Slagness because
I,
we
I,
were wearing
that, was the
chinos.
that was the first time I proper met you, like
Yeah.
that I can remember and be like, oh, he's actually sound.
Yeah.
I didn't like him because I was a fighter
It's mad how you just don't like people because
of someone
Higher
else.
beef.
someone else.
It's like our club hated Holy Trinity because Patsy hated Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
And there was just bread in this fucking Holy
Yeah.
Trinity all
It's always
wagons.
just
And
you get
I'd seen
fed
Mickey,
like,
when I went to Commonwealth Games with Mickey, I was like, Mickey's a legend.
But
Always a way.
going to try and stop
Right,
this
okay,
again
right,
for the
right,
second time. Thanks for joining us, Kevin. This happens every week. I get cut off.
Right. Go ahead. Do your
Yeah.
thing, brother.
Thank you for coming on, Kevin. You're a legend. Like, subscribe, and share, people. Thanks for joining us. Shout out Our Kings. Shout out Dream Mentorship. Shout out so many people now. Shout out
So many people. It's 3. Fuck's
Fuck
sake.
at these 2 months. Bad Boy Mexican. And join us on Patreon as ever. £2 a month. It's fuck all. So peace.
Peace. With him going all the way.